Hey everyone, welcome back to my channel. This is episode 10 of season 9, Darkness Before Dawn. Her family goes in search of Georgie, who is second guessing her decision to run away. Amy and Ty work to save Phoenix from pesticide poisoning. At the end of the last episode, we saw that Georgie had run away. My guess is that she went to Vancouver, but I could be wrong on that. But I'm guessing she went to Vancouver to be with Peter. They didn't really specify, but I live in the States. If you lived in Canada, when they showed like the street sign, you might know where that is. So let me know down in the comments if they did kind of specify Vancouver without actually saying Vancouver. Obviously, I haven't been to Canada, so I don't know if it was actually Vancouver or if she even went someplace completely different. That may have happened. Hi, Alice. I'm about to have Alice up here. There you go. Hi, baby. And then, as it says, Amy and Ty work to save Phoenix from pesticide poisoning, which was something we saw at the end of the last episode as well. One of the horses had drunk, Caleb's horse, had drunk some contaminated river water, and then we saw that Phoenix did when Jack was out riding him. So hopefully they will save Phoenix, because I really don't know if I can handle 2 horses dying in one season. And I did not bring my box of Kleenex, so I may have to run and get that if it looks like Phoenix isn't going to make it. But I think Phoenix will be okay. I hope he will. So obviously the last episode would have probably been like the mid-season finale or the winter finale. So obviously then this will be the second half of season 9. And Georgie does kind of seem to be, I don't want to necessarily say be changing, but it's kind of something like that, because now that now that Lou and Peter are being stupid and staying separated and everything, she's kind of pitting them against each other. You know, like if one parent, Lou, says no, then she'll go to Peter because she knows Peter will probably say yes. And as we saw in the last episode, there was a trip that Georgie wanted to go on. Lou was okay with it, thinking that it was like a team building event. When she found out it was just a bunch of girls going and hanging out, she didn't like that. But Georgie had also lied to Peter, and Peter had said it was okay. But he did say it was okay if Lou said it was okay. Now, I did agree with Lou that Georgie should have been up front. Maybe if she had explained things to Lou, saying, you know, I'm the youngest, I'm the outsider, they've invited me on this trip, Lou may have said, yeah, it's fine. They are good girls, they're decent girls. Let me just talk with their parents. Which the parents didn't know anything about the trip either. But maybe if she had been upfront about it, Lou still would have let her go, because she would have understood what Georgie was meaning about being the youngest and, you know, being invited and stuff like that. And it did seem like they weren't going to do anything bad or get in any trouble. They were probably just going to go on this trip, maybe do some shopping, hanging out, whatever. So it didn't seem like it was going to be anything bad, because she said they're decent girls. So had she been up front, I think Lou would have said yes. She kind of gave that impression that, yeah, she would have said yes if Georgie had been up front. But since she did lie about it, that's where the punishment came. Anyways, let's get started.
I see Georgina has a history of running away. Yes, even when she was a foster child, but not for years, not since we adopted her.
It's gonna be alright. Mm-hmm. Georgie's tough.
She is. So is Peter like in a meeting? Is he out with someone? Is he asleep? He could be asleep. Oh god, the crack from Doctor Who. They should not do that.
It's so hard to be strong.
I think they'll save Phoenix. I hope they will. And the fact that Peter hasn't been at his apartment all night, I'm thinking maybe he's out of town. Since he and Lou are separated now, maybe he feels he doesn't have to tell her everything. And obviously he wouldn't expect his daughter to run away and come see him. So, if he did go out of town or stay the night with someone, it would make sense. But again, he's not expecting Georgie to run away and come see him. I knew she was going to go to him, though. Because that's kind of the thing, at least what they portray here on TV, is that the absent parent, or the parent who isn't around as much, is kind of the cool and fun parent, kind of giving kids what they want because they feel guilty for not being around. And my attitude is, well, if Peter feels guilty, then maybe he should get a job there in Hudson and stay home with Lou and the kids. But like Tim said, he's putting his job first. So obviously we're going to see Gabriel Hogan is in this episode. So we're going to see how he reacts to it. I'm guessing by the end of the episode, he's going to put Georgie on a bus or something back. Don't they normally say he takes a plane? Or does he take a bus? Because Georgie obviously took a bus. And obviously Vancouver is a few hours away from Hudson. I don't know, is Hudson a real place? My guess is it is. So obviously there's a few hour difference. Now maybe he takes a plane because maybe if you take a bus or drive, maybe it's say a 6-hour drive, but if you take a plane, it's 2 hours or so. So obviously that would be a lot more convenient, but a bus probably costs a lot less. And if you get a bus pass, that would probably cost you less in the long run. But, obviously Georgie took a bus to get there. So it's not out of reach. Like for me, Chicago is probably about 3 hours away. So obviously if I took a little plane, like a puddle jumper or something, I could probably make it in like 45 to 50 minutes. But driving or taking a bus would be about 3 to 3.5 hours probably. So that's my guess, is that that's kind of what the difference is.
It's okay.
She's gotta be hungry.
Can I help you, young lady?
But he should be here. I don't know where he is.
He's not there.
He's not answering. I'm sorry, Mrs. Cardell.
Well, you can let me in, right?
Mhm.
This is my dad. I swear I am not lying to you.
The photo will be just fine. Let's go.
She acts like she's got it all together, but she's a child.
Makes me think of the movie Do Not Reply.
I can't stand this. I gotta do something. I can't stand this anymore.
I have to say, for her crying, she still looks good. When I cry, I'm a freaking mess. Makeup running and everything. So she's doing a good job of crying, but not looking like a blubbering mess. She was mentioning about, maybe she was talking to someone online. And that makes me think of the movie Do Not Reply, which If you haven't seen it, I have reacted to that. That is part of my Spooktober series for 2022. So if you head over to that folder, you will find that to be the first film in the collection. So check it out. I highly recommend it. But a little synopsis of that movie. It's basically about a young girl who is chatting with this guy online, goes to meet him, and of course he's a villain and he abducts her. And it's really a fucked up movie. I won't get into too much detail because I want you to watch it, but that's ultimately the premise. And at the end of the movie, it basically gave a stat about how many girls talk to online predators and how many are actually like abducted each year. So I just happened to think of that movie when she mentioned that, like maybe she was talking to someone. And luckily, no. Obviously we know it's that she ran away. Now, I'm kind of wondering if the concierge is going to do something because, Peter would probably have an emergency contact down, which is probably Lou. Even with them being separated, she probably still is his emergency contact. So I'm wondering if he's going to kind of get involved because, he commented about her being there alone. And I'm thinking, yeah, but at least if she's in the apartment, she's safe, Even if Peter is out of town for a few days, she is there and safe because it's a secure building, so no one can really get to her. And as long as she stays in the apartment, she's safe. And Georgie's smart enough to not, set the place on fire. But, yeah, I'm wondering if maybe he's going to check Peter's files and see if there's an emergency contact, which would be Lou, and then tell everything to Lou. Which is a good idea, but at the same time, I can also see that as kind of being like a breach of privacy as well. But in a situation like that, it might be okay. And of course, there's not really any food. Good.
Hello? Hello? Mom? Mom? Georgie? Honey, are you okay?
Where are you?
Oh, so sorry.
Hold up. Yep. It's the first time we've seen him ride Buddy. He rode Phoenix, which was
Sylvia.
Honey, are you back? So, and she is a key too. I don't really want to say about that. Just that that's annoying. And I want to kick Peter in the ass for that.
You must be Lou. And, of course, Georgie. I feel like, Peter never stops talking about you. Both of you.
Hey, this is it. Same address, same name. Archie Buchanan.
Archie Buchanan. Guys might want to pay attention to the horses. That might be leaching through into the grass, too. If they fucking kill another horse in this season, I'm gonna be super pissed. I don't know that I will forgive these guys. I'm hoping that Phoenix seeing Georgie will be enough. And that woman, Sylvia. Her last name was Pratt, which is funny because one of the actresses, Victoria Pratt, the one who plays Casey. So I wonder if they took that name. They probably did. They were probably like, oh, let's use Victoria's last name. Sylvia. You never know. Maybe Victoria has a sister named Sylvia. So they were using that. I don't know. But we met his ex-wife in an episode, and they never did explain what happened to Max. I know he said Max was sick, but whatever happened with that? They didn't follow up with that, which I wish they would have. And obviously Lou leaving her ring there. Basically her being done. Seeing that he's got that woman, Sylvia, showing that he's moved on. So I think there was a part of Lou that was hoping, even if they were separated, that maybe they could work it out and get back together, which is what I was hoping too. And I guess it could still happen. But obviously it was symbolic, her removing the rings. Which I thought it was odd that even though they were separated, they were both still wearing the rings. That one insurance inspector commented about it. She and her husband being separated, but still wearing the ring. And Peter was still wearing his. So it's kind of making me wonder, like, if they were separated, why were they still wearing the rings? Was it because even though they were separated, they were still figuring things out? Or what? Because you would think if they had separated, they would have removed their rings pretty much right away. But what do I know? Come on, Phoenix. Look, Georgie's there.
Gotta get better, buddy.
Yeah. Come on, Phoenix.
Gotta drink this.
Come on. Come on. Good boy. Good boy. Good boy.
Good boy.
Good boy.
Ty's doing it.
Good.
Good boy.
Keep trying, Georgie, okay?
He just needed to see Georgie.
You can tell you're back, Georgie.
Mm-hmm.
He's feeling better already.
He missed Georgie.
How's he doing?
He's definitely improving.
Good. Good boy. Good boy, Phoenix.
Put any of us through something like this again. Ever.
I won't.
I'm not finished. I don't know what goes on in that mind of yours.
I hope someone contacted her brother. I'm guessing at this point someone has. Because I'm sure he would have been worried too.
I'll be there for you.
I hope so.
I love you too. Just need the girls.
I was gonna say, where's he was listening? So he's obviously got the message now.
Georgie, honey, are you here? Georgie.
Yeah.
Don't leave me in the ashes of your memory.
So, I like how his reaction was kind of surprise and a bit of shock when he saw the ring there. Because obviously it meant that, yeah, Lou was there and she took Georgie, and obviously leaving the ring. See, he may not know about Sylvia. Sylvia may have contacted him, may not have. But he still had his ring on. So maybe by him seeing that, maybe he realized it was over. Because you never know. With this Sylvia, even though obviously it was kind of supposed to be a little bit of like a romance thing, maybe it was one that was like, I'm going to see how this goes, but maybe it's not going to last. Maybe I'm going to want to stay with Lou. Maybe he was a bit on the fence. Because, like with Lou, she went on a date with that one guy and then was like, yeah, I'm not ready to date. And again, I do think that there was a part of Lou that was hoping that maybe they could have worked things out, and I wish they could have worked things out. But him obviously seeing Lou's ring there means that he knows that it's over. If he really wanted to try and make it work, he would contact her about it. But unfortunately, they're just gonna go through. And like I said, couldn't they have mentioned Jeff? I know they mentioned Jeff in the last episode about, checking to see if maybe if Georgie was going to see him. And I'm like, couldn't they have mentioned to her? I mean, I'm sure it was one of those things where as they're on the flight, maybe she said, I contacted Jeff, I let him know you're fine or something. But you would also think, being her brother, that he would have dropped everything and maybe come to Heartland to look. But maybe he felt it was best to stay there just in case she did show up. So, yeah, I like Jeff. I kind of wish that they had mentioned Jeff in this episode, because he is her blood brother. And obviously he would be concerned and worried about her. And he is part of the family, even if he's living away. So I do wish that there at least had been a mention, we got a hold of Jeff, or we sent Jeff a text and let him know Georgie's fine. And I was sitting here thinking to myself, it looks like this is getting ready to end. Where's Peter? He was listed, but then we saw him come to his apartment. I like how, obviously once he got service and he saw all the calls, then he was, and it was that, that he didn't have service. But as soon as he did, you notice he was kind of right on it, because, yeah, he does love Georgie and Katie, if it had been either of them. So, he was doing the right thing there as a parent. It's just, unfortunately, his phone didn't have reception. But how'd you like that? You get back, you turn your phone on when you have reception, and there's probably 20 missed calls or something. And depending on how things go, he might have been able to check his voicemails from his home phone too, which then meant that he would have gotten all those, because he knew Georgie was there, because she had left a message on his cell saying, I'm calling you from the house phone. So it was a bit significant there at the end that he saw the rings. But it'll be interesting to see if in the next episode his is off, or if he'll still have it on. I was kind of wondering if maybe Amy would notice that it was off. Thank you for joining me for this reaction. I hope you enjoyed it. Hit the like button and subscribe for more content. I hope you enjoyed Alice. Look at how cute she is. You think nail toes. Follow me on Instagram and TikTok, and support me on Buy Me a Coffee if you can. And I will be starting episode 11, making the grade, here shortly. And I hope you will stick around for that. I'll see you next time. Bye.